Howdy, welcome to BanjoBenClark.com. I am Banjo Ben, your humble host, here on the website that gives you all that you could ever want to know for learning guitar, banjo, and today we're continuing with the mandolin rhythm series. So far we've covered just a few of our basic chords, the G chord, the C chord, and the D chord, and a couple different ways to do that D chord. Beyond that, we learned how to play rhythm with a very standard song. We took She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain. We learned how to read kind of a number chart, a Nashville number chart, assigning those chords to a particular number. And then we went ahead and progressed and learned how to get that famous mandolin chop sound that everybody's after, right? And there's a very specific way of doing that, and we learned that. So if you haven't covered that already and you don't know how to do that, go back and click on and watch parts 1 through 4 of my mandolin rhythm series there on the website at BanjoBenClark.com. Today we're going to carry it just a step further. We're going to introduce some more chords. So we're going to cover more chords and give you a couple different chord shapes, kind of a bar chord shape. We're going to look at how to make some minor chord shapes. And then also we're going to introduce a little bit more complex right hand chopping rhythm. So far we've been just doing kind of the boom chick that many guitar players are familiar with. And today I'd like to expand it over the next few little video lesson segments, just get more of that rhythm sound out of it. Get it sounding more like that train rolling down the tracks. Many times when we're playing mandolin rhythm, we just want that simple chop. Many times we want to add a little bit more. So it's important to know how to do that. If you're watching this on YouTube, in a little while you're going to be directed over to my website, where for a very small price you can become a Gold Pick member and have access to all of my videos and tabs that I update each and every week at BanjoBenClark.com. So I'm excited about this. Let's continue our mandolin rhythm series. Okay, here's the deal. I want to do just a really quick review of our chords. For those of you who have just watched the first 4 video parts of this mandolin rhythm series, it's going to sound a little redundant, but I'm just going to spend just a quick minute here. We've got our full 4-fingered G chord, right? Which is our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, index on the 2nd fret. We're going to stretch with our ring finger, put it on the 5th fret of the D string, and then with our pinky, the major stretch, but you can do it, we're going to come up to the 7th fret on the G string. And that's that big 4-fingered G chord. We learned that to make a C chord, one of the ways to make a C chord, we're just going to take these first 3 fingers and we're just going to move them up a string. Up this way, okay? And that's going to give us 3 notes in our C chord. We also learned how to mute that open E string that's now there with kind of the meaty part of our first finger, so that whenever you get that chop, it's a good chop sound. You don't have that E string ringing out. We don't want that, okay? So if we have our C chord right here, with our ring finger being on the 5th fret down here, to get a D chord, it would make sense. D is 2 half steps above C. So if we have our C chord, we're going to move up 2 frets, 2 half steps to get our D chord. Many of you know how to do this open chord D chord. Okay, so all we're doing there is just a closed version of another D chord. Same chord, just a different way to play it. Okay, so now that we have those chords established and we learned how to play them with the song, the next thing that I want to do is work on our right hand a little bit more. We have our left hand headed in a direction. So now let's beef up our right hand a little bit and let's bring in a few more strums. If you'll remember, so far I've had you just playing that low G string and then coming through with the chop, releasing your fingers. I really went into depth in that in the first 4 video series, so go check that out if you have any questions. But what I want to do now is just intensify that a little bit. If you already play guitar, this will be really natural for you. If you don't play guitar, it's going to come really quick for you, okay? It's just practice. It's just one of those things, right? But essentially, I want us to get used to making an upstroke on the mandolin, using that in a rhythm. So what I want you to do for me first is play that low G string, just like we learned, and then we're going to do the chop. And then immediately, while our fingers are off the fretboard, we're still covering the strings, but they're not pressing them down. I want you to come back with an upstroke. So it sounds like this. Can you do that? Try that with me again. Can we do that over and over again? 1, 2, ready, go. Good job. Good job. That's the first little building block to building this more complex rhythm sound. Also, if you haven't printed off the tab yet, I have a tab available. It has all these different chord shapes, and it's over there in the member area on the website. So just click on Mandolin Tabs and then print out that PDF. That way you can read along as we cover these different chords and these different rhythm exercises. I'm going to build you some exercises to really get that right hand working so that we can build that foundational full rhythm sound that we want. Okay, so let's work some more on this particular exercise. Then I'm going to build one block after the next, and then we're going to work on working that into some different chord shapes.